Hey everybody, hope you're having an awesome day. So I know I am. So hopefully you're in for some cooking. So stick around and let's see what we're gonna cook up. So hopefully you kind of like this kind of stuff and you kind of like me to share some other recipes with you and stuff like that. Again, I think this recipe is something I played around with. I've kind of made another video with it. Indigo Nili made a version of Egglife wraps. I tried to mimic hers. It was okay, but it wasn't like egg life wraps. It was similar, but there was a big difference. So today we're going to try a couple different recipes to make egg life wraps. If you haven't had egg life wraps or you can't have them in your area, that's the point of this. Is I want to try to make it so that you can have them. So if you haven't seen the egg life wraps, they're nice. They're very pliable. They're very sturdy, so they make great wraps. They have good in like for like a type of burrito or anything like that, sandwiches or anything else. So that's the trying to get them to be like this. So we have a couple different recipes today. Actually, I'm going to try one recipe today. We're going to do it a couple different ways. We're going to try it in the frying pan and see how that comes out. And we also may try them in the oven and see them in a water bath and then see how that comes out in a water bath. Just to kind of see if it holds that moisture and everything else in it. In the frying pan as well. So it kind of dried out a little bit. And we're going to try them a couple different ways as well as whipping them up. So we may do one with just a little bit of foam in them and see how that comes out. We may try one that's whipped up into little softer peaks, and then maybe we'll try one with a little stiffer peaks and then see if we can smooth that out a little bit more. I don't know. We're going to play around with it. So we're going to take you along today. We'll show you different segments, and then we're going to, at the end of it, we'll kind of compare the different ones that we made today, and I'm sure this is probably not going to be the end of it because I'm going to continue to make more of it. So if this kind of stuff interests you and you think you'd like to be able to make egg life wraps at home and enjoy what everybody else is you've seen all over the internet, because everybody's using these in cooking. They're using them in all kinds of lasagna recipes and noodle recipes and you name it, and I eat them all the time. So I would love to be able to do it. Now they're about $5 to $6 depending on where you buy them. So with the cost of everything today, if I could make them myself for half that price for around $2 or $3, that would be super. Again, so let's kind of do this. And then if you look in this here, and this is what I'm going to kind of follow. This has got egg whites in it, xanthan gum, and it says natural flavorings. I don't know what the natural flavorings is. It has salt in them, and then it has niacin for as a preservative, right? So I'm not going to put the niacin in there because I'm kind of hoping if you make them, you're going to eat them within a few days after you make them, right? So that's my intent, is to make some that I can make a half a dozen of them for the week, maybe make a big batch of them and then freeze them. And if I can get a recipe that I really like. So I did ask the question last time on one of my videos if people would like to see me try different recipes with it, or would you like to wait until I think I have one that is really good. And it was kind of like they wanted, some people suggested that the people that responded said that they would like to see the experimentation and all that stuff too. I'm no cook, so you know I'm kind of a hack at best. So you know, I'm hoping it comes out good. We're gonna find out again. So let me adjust the camera down and we'll get started, and I'll show you what we're gonna do as well. All right, and then we'll compare these egg life wraps later on when we get a couple different samples and couple of recipes put together. All right, so if you remember last time, I used just straight egg white powder. This time we're going to use a combination of egg white powder and just egg whites. So I'm going to use a carton egg whites. So I got to tell you, I bought this because I wanted to use it in my protein sparing modifying bread. I bought 2 of them because they were on sale. You buy 2, I think it was buy one get one free or something like that. This is the Kruger's brand, but when I put it into protein sparing modifying bread, the bread didn't rise as good. It didn't mix as well. So I won't be buying this for the bread anymore. I'll be using it for other things, and I probably won't be purchasing it again anyway. So, but anyway, but I am going to use it for this purpose here. I thought it would be a good trial, just to see what it is, and we'll see. I'm using it, so I'm hoping that it gives me better results. Again, I hate to say it, but I'm going to use it because I want to use it up, and again, I can't use it in the protein sparing modifying breads or rolls or anything like that. At least it was in my opinion that it didn't work very well. So I'm going to put 1 cup in here. And then I'm going to put in about 4 teaspoons. I'm going to use the Keto Chow version of the egg white powder. So I've been getting this one. I like it. I use the Now one as well, and that one works well as well. So I'm going to use, this is a 2 tablespoon measuring thing. So I'm going to put 4 tablespoons in here. I'm going to put that in here. And then I'm going to put a quarter of a teaspoon of xanthan gum in there. So just a little bit. That'll help bring it all together and gel it together. And then I'm going to take a little mixer that I have, the little immersion blender. This is the Ace Cool immersion blender, but it also has an attachment for a beater in there. So we're going to see how this goes. So we're going to beat it up. And hopefully get the volume so it doubles, maybe even triples in size. So we get a good froth on there. You don't want it to... You don't want it to get to soft cakes, but we want to kind of get it really mixed up nice. And I may turn this down as far as it will go. This just saves me from whipping it. It's not as noisy either as with a beater or a blender. Alright, I'm going to continue to beat this until it comes back and we get a good consistency where I'm happy with it, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second, in the next segment. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with the consistency of this. This is, like I say, the first try of it. It's nice and foamy. It's probably doubled or tripled in volume right now. I turned on my burner right here, and that's going to be the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to move the camera over so you can see the burner, and we're going to slide the burner down so it's in front of me. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of, this is avocado oil, and I'm going to spray it in here just to kind of get the pan going a little bit so it doesn't stick too bad. It's egg whites, and then I'm going to get something to... I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup, and I'm going to put about 1/3 of a cup in here and then see how it goes, see how it spreads around. Maybe, let's see, I'm going to try to get me a spatula or something to smooth that out with. Now the trick is this is on a medium heat right now. Let's see how that cooks up. No promises. I'm going to get a spatula to flip it here in a minute. Maybe I can find one. No, we made eggs this morning, so it's with the dishes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until this cooks a little bit. I'm going to wait and try to get it level as flat as I can. I'm not sure I did that. And again, I want to wait until it cooks a little bit too as well, because I want to see, because I think if you do it too early, the sides are going to stick. If you cook it just right, long enough, it will be ready to flip. So let's come back in the next segment when I can flip this thing, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm flipping it. Then we'll move on. Now I'm going to cook a batch of them. And then we're going to move on to the next one, and then we're going to try a batch of these, probably in a water bath in the oven. So I just kind of want to show you, I flipped it, it did not come out good, it stuck to the pan really bad. So you can see that was kind of a fail. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it again. Next one I'm going to try, I'm going to leave it in there a little bit longer. It did brown up a little bit too, which I'm kind of surprised because the regular egg whites don't brown up like this. I'm not sure what in it would make it brown up like that, but and whether it's just the avocado oil, or maybe I shouldn't even put any avocado in here at all. So I'm going to try it again with no oil whatsoever in here, and we're going to come back and I'll show you what that one looks like without any oil at all. So alright, this was round 2. This one actually didn't stick nowhere near as bad. I let it cook a little bit longer. It seemed like the longer I let it cook, the more it let go, and the more it released. So that was getting closer still. I don't know, it's turning brown, and it feels more to me like I don't know, more like a fried egg, right? So it has that egg texture to it, so more like the where the other ones are not, a little more, I don't know what you call it. So I think we're gonna play around with this a little bit more. We're also going to set up next, and we're gonna actually try to see if we can cook them in the oven in a water bath, I think next, and we're going to see if the moisture keeps them nice and smooth, as well as the baking doesn't fry them like a frying pan, like a fried egg. So that's the next thing we're going to try. So we'll come back in the next segment and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, here we go with round 3. So what we're going to do is, I have a microwave oven that's a 5-in-1, so it bakes. It has an air fryer built into it, and it has some other features into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little thing of water, so a Pyrex small thing of water, and it actually has a shelf in it. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in this. I'm going to put it in there so that I get some of the steam from it. And then I'm going to take, it has this rack in here, and I want to make sure it fits underneath there. So that's good. And then in this part, I'm going to put the Egglife wrap in there. We're going to put it in there. We'll throw it in there. I'll keep track of it, and I'll see how long it takes, and see what it looks like while it's in the oven. The oven it's kind of heating up now. Now I would expect this is liquefied quite a bit from where it was a little bit ago. So I may have to whip it up again and try it again to kind of get it fluffy again. Yeah, so it looks like it's kind of runny right now, but let's give it a try. Let's see how it comes out, what it looks like, and I'll come back in the next segment. We'll pull it out and we'll check it out and see how it looks. All right, I'm going to put this in this little oven. It's up to temperature. I put it in a temperature at 375. Stick it in here. I'm going to turn it to 7 minutes. And we're going to let it go. We'll see how it comes out in 7 minutes. If we have to add more time or not, I'll let you know. Alright, this is the way it kind of came out. I'm not sure whether I should have left it in there longer or not. Like I said, I know it got very liquidy. I actually think the consistency is pretty good. Maybe another minute or two, maybe. So maybe instead of 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. But and again, the sides that were thin cooked a lot faster than the middle. But that was the consistency of it. I think it's closer, so I think we're getting a little bit better. I think the water bath was a much better idea. It looks more like an egg wrap. It seems to be much more pliable. We'll see when it cools. So this is round 3. So we're going to make up another batch. I think of the same one that we just made up, and then we're going to try this again. We're going to let it go for another minute, and we're going to get it a little bit, because it got pretty thin near the end there because it's just sitting there, so it kind of deflated a little bit. So we're going to try it again with the foaming a little bit, so it kind of holds together a little bit more. So all right, but I think that actually worked out better than putting it in a frying pan. So So let's kind of continue down that path and see what happens. All right, here is round 2. Again, with a little more foaminess in it. Hopefully we get it to spread a little more evenly. Get the air bubbles in it. I think I like the way the other one came out, so I'm thinking that this one will be about the same. We'll see. So this one will be a little bit more foamy. We'll see how this one comes up. Maybe I'll take up and maybe go closer to soft peaks on it. When we do the next one, that way there it's a little more foamy and actually might be spreading a little bit better than this. And again, we're doing it in a little oven just because of the fact we don't want it to heat up the whole house and stuff like that. So we thought we'd do it in a microwave oven. So, all right, I'm going to put it in there and then we'll see. And I'm going to also put it in there for 2 minutes longer. So I'm going to put it in for 9 minutes this time, and we're going to see how this one comes out. All right, this was round 4. So this one was done in the water bath. I should be letting it cool for a few more minutes before I play with it, but I'm an impatient man. So actually, I don't know. You know, it kind of has a crystally effect on the top. Well, they've all had that kind of that crystally effect. So I'm not sure whether that's from the egg white powder or the xanthan gum or whatever. But I actually think these look pretty good. So I'm going to try one more. I'm actually going to whip up the next batch. Like I said, these kind of come out. I think that the water bath, they actually come out better. I'm not sure about taste. So I'm going to set this in a pile with the other ones. But I actually like the way they look better. But I think they're so runny that it's hard to control the consistency of them. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to whip this batch here to just till it starts to turn to soft peaks. And then we're going to try it again. I'm going to throw it back in the oven for 9 minutes at 325, and we'll see how it goes. So, all right, we'll come back with that one, and we'll show you how the results of that come out in the next segment. All right, so I kind of wanted to just come back because I did whip these to a what I would call a really soft peak, but you can kind of see they kind of have that consistency, more like a pancake batter or something like that. So I'm thinking this is gonna hold together better. I just kind of wanted to show you that consistency. And all right, so when this is done, we'll come back and we'll check it out. So, all right, this is the Egglife wrap. This is number 5, I think. So this is whipping to stiff peaks. It actually looks closer to an Egglife wrap. A couple of things is that this little pan that I'm doing them in for this trials, again, I would say that it doesn't, the parchment paper doesn't sit flat in there, so it kind of makes it hard to get where you can get it nice and smooth, right? So, but no, it's good. It looks really good. I actually think this is the best so far. The time was 9 minutes on it at 325 in that little oven. Again, it's a convection oven, so it cooks pretty evenly throughout. The pan that's in there has holes in it. Now the next one we're trying is the same thing, with the exception of we took the water bath out because we wanted to try it without the water bath and see whether the water bath is making any difference or not. But you can see this side is really nice. It's pretty flat, pliable. It looks pretty close. Now this side still has that crystallization in it. So the next one we're going to do is I'm going to clean out the pan here, and we're going to make it with just the egg whites and a little bit of xanthan gum, and then see whether we get that crystallization or not, and see whether it's coming from the egg white powder or not. So again, I'd like to get it so I don't need to use the egg white powder, because I'd like to be able to go no matter where I am to be able to make these things. And if I'm somewhere where the egg white powder is not available, that I can make them. But holds pretty good, looks pretty good. So, all right, I'll come back in the next segment and see how the one without the water bath comes out. And then we're going to make a mixture with just the straight egg whites and no egg white powder in it. So, all right, this is the one without the egg white bath. It actually came out pretty good. A little bit on the edges just because of the pan kind of tips up in the ends. So, but this is actually really nice. This is pretty good. So it's getting better and better, I think, every trial. I like the baking method versus the pan method. My problem is getting them a little more thinner, maybe. But they're pretty. I mean, I want them hearty and I want them big, and kind of like the other ones are. So this is pretty good. Now this batch here, and I just put one in the oven. This is just straight liquid egg whites. So I use just this and the xanthan gum, and that's it, nothing else. So I'm kind of hoping. The other ones they're like a little crystally on the top. I mean, it's nice. It actually comes out, like I said, it's just a little bit. I don't know if you can notice it in the picture or the color at all. But, so I'm trying to get rid of that. So I want it to be more like this texture, like the egg texture. Now it doesn't come out quite as bubbly as the others. And again, this is very soft peaks. Again, you can kind of see where they're at. So again, we'll see where this next one comes out. And again, I want to be able to make it no matter where I go. And unfortunately, the egg white powder is not available everywhere. So if we go visit family over in the Philippines, I want to be able to make them in the Philippines. So they have tons of eggs. So if the eggs are there and it works with just the egg whites, then I can make them while I'm there. So, and anybody can make them anywhere. So let's see how the next ones come out, and then we'll wrap it up after that, probably. All right, so this was just egg white and xanthan gum trial. So, so that's all it was. And actually, this one is probably the most pliable one out of all of them. So, wow, that came out really nice. Look how soft that is, and how, wow. So this is just egg white and xanthan gum again. So that actually came out nice. I may bake it for another minute or two. But yeah, that actually came out really nice. So let me reset up the camera. Let's kind of go through what we've done for the day so far. I am going to cook the rest of this batch up just because, man, if they're coming out like this, I'm good. That's really nice. That's fantastic. So I'm really happy with that one. So all right. All right. Let me adjust the camera. We'll come back so you can actually see me and we can talk a little bit about how things went. So. All right, I'm going to kind of quickly go through the ones that we tried, my thoughts on them and everything else. This was the first one I tried. I tried it in the pan, cooking it on top of the stove top on the hot plate. It stuck to the pan I had. Maybe I didn't let it cook long enough or whatever. It came out okay, nothing special. This was the second one. I let it cook a little bit longer. I actually whipped it so it was a little bit thicker, so it came out good. Now when I flipped it over, I don't think I flipped it over long enough. So, and again, these are all edible, so they're all pretty good. And this one was one where I did it a little bit longer. I think actually this was the first one that we did in the oven, and actually came out good. Now the top part of it, I will tell you that what I noticed later on, these are cooling. They're getting a little bit sticky. So I'm thinking maybe I have to cook them a little bit longer or flip them over so both sides get cooked thoroughly if you're doing it in the oven. Let's see how these are, because these are, I'm hoping they don't stick together. So, you know, if you pulled any of the Egglife wraps off, you would see that they are stuck together. So there's two here that are stuck together. Again, these were two different renditions of the Egglife wraps. So this was actually, these were pretty good. I actually like the baking ones a lot better than I like the pan method. So I think they came out a lot better. Again, these kind of stuck together. I'm thinking you need to put a piece of parchment paper between the two of them to keep them separated. I should have done that and I didn't do that. I'm learning. Let's see what else we got here. And this was the one that, and again, they're sticking together. I got to put a parchment paper between them. So this was the one that we did in the oven without the water bath, and it came out really nice. It came out really good. So I really like them. So, and then this was the last one that we did. This was just egg whites and xanthan gum. So it came out really nice. I like these. I actually prefer these over any of the other ones. I'm actually going to take these and I'm actually going to put them. I have another one here. So I like these. These are really flexible, really soft and light. They seem pretty substantial. I think they would hold up nicely and roll up nicely into a tortilla or a burrito or something of that nature. So I think that this was my favorite one so far. Again, I think I'd run these for 9 minutes at 325. If I cook them again, I think I'm going to do 9 minutes and I'm going to try 350, or I'm going to try it a little bit longer, maybe go 11 minutes or 12 minutes in there. So, and then see if that makes them a little less sticky. Again, you're going to have to put parchment paper between them all, but this is pretty good size and you can control the size you want. Now again, to be honest with you, if you're doing, trying to get your carbs down and everything else, man, you couldn't do much better than this because of the fact one of these, if it's just the egg whites, egg white liquid and a little bit of the xanthan gum, we used 1/4 teaspoon. That it's probably 0.1 carbs or something like that, so it's almost zero, or you could call it zero. I know the Egglife calls it zero, so, and it's probably got less than what the Egglife said. Now again, these the same thing. Good for frying them up in a pan and stuff and heating them up. I'm going to take parchment paper and put it between all of these. I should have saved them as I did them because I did them in parchment paper, but they came out pretty good. I was pretty happy. The last one, like I said, that was my favorite one. The first one's in the frying pan. Not a big fan. They were hard to do. They were hard to wait until they got crispy, and it was more like a fried egg than it was an Egglife wrap. Again, show you what, kind of talk a little bit about, this one. And you look how white they are and everything else. They're really thin. And I'm thinking that they are whipping these to a better consistency, and then they have a way of making them flat and kind of holding their shape versus something like this that is a little bit softer, but they're pretty thin. They're pretty flexible, just like these ones. So not too far off. I think that these are a lot closer than any of the other ones I've tried or any of the other ones I've seen. Again, it does get a little bit sticky, and these do too. So, but not as bad as this has. Again, maybe flipping it over or something would help as well. But that's kind of it. So hopefully you liked it. Again, you can kind of see we did a lot of different renditions. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 7 or 8 different renditions, trials, temperatures, time wise. So it was kind of a hit or miss. So it just kind of shows you some of the stuff that goes on behind the backgrounds. We're going to continue. I'm going to continue to play with this, and like I said, next time I'm going to increase the temperature a little bit, and also increase the time a little bit to see whether that helps with the stickiness. If not, I'll do something else. But I think that it was better just straight egg whites and a little bit of xanthan gum. Bottoms down, none of the egg white powder required or needed. Again, you're going to have to put parchment paper or something between each one of them. because of the fact that they will stick to each other, and I think that just helps a lot. So hey, you know, if you like the video and want to see more like this, you know, just got to check out the video that's here and the video over there and the video that's over there, right? And click on that little round circle here of Alan's Awesome Keto World. And remember, you guys are awesome.